Welcome to this installment of the Screen Squad. Well, I'm I'm alone this week because I guess nobody wanted to go see this one. Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Oh my God, what a turd of a movie! And I love the Resident Evil franchise. Not the movies, but the games. The other movies are fine, right? We had an episode about the Paul W. S. Anderson movies, whatever, with Mila Jovovich, but. Man, I didn't think I could be bored in another Resident Evil movie. And I was wrong. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City follows the events of Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2. And if you're a Resident Evil fan of the PlayStation games of the Capcom series, you'll know that, you'll know pretty much where the story goes here. But man, do they make some changes in characters. They introduce you to Leon S. Kennedy, right? I think that's the one I had the most problem with, because from Resident Evil 2, the game, to Resident Evil 4, to all the other times Leon Kennedy has been in the games, great character, right? They portray him here in this movie as a bumbling rookie. It's just sad to see what they did to Leon. I did like Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield. Felt like he looked the part very close to like the PlayStation 1, cover, like character version of the game. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of overacting. It's bad. The movie is poorly written. It has some nice set pieces, like some nice background decoration. I did get excited when you see the police station that looks very much like the police station in the video game, right? When you get to the mansion and you're walking through the corridor, when you're expecting to have the crows bust in or the dogs jump through the window. A lot of that stuff was very the decoration, the set design, that was very spot on. My main problem with the movie was the actual story, was how the characters were portrayed very different. And sometimes I don't mind deviations in characters, right? Deviations in the characters on occasion can be good, but when you take a fan favorite like Leon or Wesker or even Jill, and you make certain changes, or make a lot of the characters very similar to one another, right? Kind of throws off the whole movie. I think one of the biggest, I do like the actors, right? Kaya Scodelario, which I remember her from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and that what is that movie? The one with the alligator. I don't remember what it's called. I remember just seeing it on TV, but she was good as Claire. It was passable, serviceable. There's a lot of nods to the video game. A lot of nods, like a lot of things that you've seen in the video game. Like the first time you see a zombie in the video game in the mansion, with that, they kind of gave it away in the trailer, was very much like the video game. It's actually, it had pieces that I thought were well done, but it was just too little too late by that time. The final act of the movie feels very rushed. The end of the movie 100% is very, very rushed. It's like not by the time the movie ends, you're like, that's it. And then don't even get me started on the post-credit scene where Albert Wesker, played by Tom Hopper, I feel overacted so much in that scene. But you do get introduced to another character, right? You do get introduced to another fan favorite character. But still, it's like, it's just not what you would like. If you play the game, you know the story, right? You know the story. It's the Umbrella Corporation is in Raccoon City, and a virus breaks out or something, an outbreak happens, and the point, what ends up happening is, in the game and in the movie, they have to demolish the town. Umbrella is going to destroy all evidence of what they've done, you know, and you have a ragtag group of people that are left. You have Chris, you have Jill, you have Claire, you have Leon. The group of people, the Stars team. There's, they're going to investigate. It's not even investigating the mansion. It's more along the lines of there are missing police officers that went up there and they went to go get them. Not that they were investigating anything. It's just that they were sent to go pick up two other police officers that went up there to take them out to safety, and all hell breaks loose in the meantime. CGI in the movie wasn't great. The liquor, which at this point I'm very tired of seeing liquors in Resident Evil games. Give me the other type of monsters. There's a lot in the, even the Paul Anderson one, the other ones he was bringing, Las Plagas. They had those type of zombies, but at this point, I think Resident Evil has overstayed the liquor character. Maybe it's time to move away from the liquor. And he messed up with not having Mr. X in the movie, right? Because Mr. X is a big part. The Tyrant is a big part of part two. There might have been a nod to it. There might have not been. I am 100% not sure. I paid attention as much as I could to the movie. It's just a lot of it was very boring. I was very bored. And I said the same thing when I saw Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I actually fell asleep in that one. But this one had me almost to that point. Again, there was moments. It has its moments, but not enough moments to make this a good movie. Unfortunately, the story is really lacking. Even though it's a story that they could have adapted direct from the game, added some stuff to it, but not merged two different video games or two different stories from the Resident Evil universe in one movie. Kind of jam-packed the movie, which and at this point I think the movie was, I want to say, about an hour and 25 minutes, an hour and 30 maybe max, or maybe an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. But it was just it just really dragged. There was big long sections of it where it was just dragging, and it just was not what I expected. I mean, by no means did I expect this movie to be the best Resident Evil that I've seen. But if you're adapting the games a little bit more faithfully than the predecessors, you have a lot to work with, and there's stuff you can do. And this is definitely a missed opportunity. They definitely dropped the ball on this one. And Johannes Roberts, the director, I don't think I've seen any of his other movies. I know he did 47 Meters Down. I never saw that one, and I didn't hear good things about it either. But I never saw that movie. I think, what else did he do? What else has he done? He did both 47 Meters. I did like The Strangers Pray at Night, but it seems like those are all the movies that. I think that's the only one that I've really sat down and watched was The Strangers Pray at Night, and then now Resident Evil. But it's just not. It's not a good look, for it to have been written by him and directed by him. There's a lot of, I want to say, like, for a new director maybe, like, these mistakes, or a young director. But somebody that's made movies before should know better, at least learn from mistakes, right? But no, this movie it's just 100% bad. It's just a bad movie. But it's not to say that it didn't have shining moments. Again, the moments that were closely tied to the video game were a lot better. But that unfortunately couldn't save this movie. And would I watch a sequel? Possibly. If they take the criticism that they could do with this story, maybe fix up the characters, really make the characters more like what the fans like. Because I know everybody, anyone who likes the Resident Evil franchise, the video games, is gonna have a problem with the Leon character, and they're gonna have issues with just, I think, ultimately the way all the characters are portrayed. I did like, I can honestly say I did like the makeup they had for Lisa Trevor, um, and I think that's probably the only character that I think in the movie was at least somewhat menacing and scary, even though spoilers again, even though she turns out to not be that type of monster, and again is underutilized in the movie. You're introduced to Lisa Trevor early, and then you're brought back to her later, maybe for a total of like a 10 minutes total screen time for that character, which, and I think the makeup that they put on her um, was actually really good. I thought that was really good, and that was kind of haunting and creepy. But other than that, the zombies, the way they made some of the zombies look, if you've ever seen the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie, the way Blanca looks, that's how the zombies look in Resident Evil. And it's not a good look. It is definitely not a good look. It is, yeah. I mean, I don't want to just keep bad mouthing the movie, because there are good points in it. All the actors in it, all the actors in it from the Kaya Scodelario, Robbie Amell, Tom Hopper. I mean, other than definitely that post credit scene, but Ivan Gogia, which I've seen him before. I just don't remember what else I've seen him in. I know he's been in some shows, and some movies, but they did fine with what they were given. Even Donald Logue, the Dow Steve, was in it, and it was all right. I mean, they ultimately the actors were fine. It's just the story and the overall movie, the overall production of it is not great. Would I recommend to watch it? If you like Resident Evil, and you're probably gonna go see it, of course you're gonna go see it. Would I recommend somebody who doesn't know Resident Evil and wants to watch an action horror movie to watch it? Probably not. There are other movies out there that are a lot better, that are way better, a lot fun. From this weekend's releases, probably go watch Encanto. Probably go, even go back from last week's release. Go watch Ghostbusters Afterlife. That is definitely a better movie than this movie. But unfortunately, Resident Evil, actually, and it turns out Resident Evil is only 107 minutes long. So, yep, about an hour and 47 minutes. Not that long, and it feels like it's really long because it's like parts drag. But check it out if you want. Just don't take my word for it, I guess, if you want to. But ultimately, I can't recommend this movie. As much of a Resident Evil fan that I am, I can't recommend this movie at all. And I didn't go in there with high hopes, but I didn't want to come out feeling the way I felt here, very kind of bored and like kind of mad at what they did to the characters of the movie. But on that note, guys, I'll see you guys next week. See you around, kid.